Welcome back, everybody. We are live. Oh, shoot. What's going on, Ted Cash? Get this out of the way. There we go. Hex Hero. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot of Hex news to talk about. A lot going on Twitter. And we have our featured story today, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Again, getting blocked by the SEC to become an ETF. So they actually said that they're considering selling 20% of their assets or shares, 20%, selling 20% of the shares in their trust for a given price, which they haven't named yet. Hexatic, what's going on? Thank you guys for tuning in again for another exciting episode. And Hexray Vision is in the house. What's going on, Hexray Vision? Welcome back. Such an honor having you. Gotta have you as a guest as well. Let's just go to the charts. We got Bitcoin trading at $16,642. Breaking down from this bear flag or what do you call it? Ascending triangle? Isn't it an ascending triangle? Bitcoin 16,636 down from yesterday, headed to our target of $12,423, and then possibly chop sideways and slightly lower to that 11K and pray. If you haven't tuned in to the Richard Hart interview with, what's the guy's name? Richard Hart's most recent interview was with the trading guy. Paul Barron Network. It seems like, according to Richard Hart, who knows far more than me or probably anybody else, he was making thank you, CJ Dez. Yeah, he was saying it. He's saying like this wasn't the bottom, like we're going lower, possibly because of Binance. I mean, Binance is what people are talking about. People are talking about less, but actually more today is Grayscale and the digital currency group. I think that's a lot more likely to be the cause of a cascade than Binance, to be honest. But who knows? But it is December 19th. So according to 4-year cycle theory, December 20th would be the longest. We pass December 20th and we make a local low, meaning we drop below $15,500. This will be the longest bear market in crypto history. And Richard Hart is saying it's going 11K. He's still saying it's going 11K, meaning that it looks like cycles are going to lengthen to an extent. I mean, when that bottom happens, no one can say. No one can say. Not even Richard Hart can say. But it does seem like he's saying we're going 11K and pray. Could the bottom be in? Yeah, I think it's very possible. I don't think Richard Hart has to be right. He's been wrong before. He's not a god. I'm certainly not, buying and selling based on his calls. I don't think he would even agree with that. But it is something to keep in mind. I continue to dollar cost average. I continue to be a believer in the crypto markets that they're going to come back. And I continue to be a believer in Hex, that Hex is going to come back. Anyways, moving on. Let's take a look at the Hex chart. The Hex chart. 2.5 cents, still at 2.5 cents. We could get a little bit into technical analysis just because why not? Got me a lot of views when I clipped it last time. Do I believe in technical analysis? Absolutely not. But are we bored AF in this bear market? Yes, absolutely. So why not entertain ourselves with some technical analysis? So we have this descending triangle. We have this sideways channel, and we've been holding support pretty well on this trend line. You see it bounces off here, here, and here, and seems like we're getting a little bounce over here. The thing is, if the price breaks down, then we're seriously headed for lower levels. But if it manages to break up above this 3.56 cent level, then we are going to be headed higher. But if it doesn't break up or down, then it will remain in a sideways channel for the time being. Sound familiar? Sounds all too familiar. We could even get a little even more technical. What would be the technical target if we break down? Well, we measure it from the top to the bottom of the last move, and we have, this goes to show the technical analysis doesn't make any sense. We have a technical target of minus 13 cents. Can Hex hit minus 13 cents? Absolutely not. Lowest it could go is 0. But what if it breaks up? What would the technical target be then? I'd say we have a technical target of 19.47 cents if we break the 3.1 cent resistance. If we break this resistance at about 3.3 cents, we should be headed to 19.47 cents. If you're a believer. So which way are we going to go? Are we going to break down or are we going to break up? Has Hex been front running the market? Is the Hex bottom front running the Bitcoin bottom? And is the bottom already in? And are we headed for that 19.47 cent target? I don't know. What do you guys think? We got Hex-Ray Vision. Let's get Furu to 2,000 subs. Share these videos. We'll reveal another seed word for this crypto scavenger hunt. Thank you so much, Hex-Ray Vision. And I agree. Yeah, let's get Furu to 2,000 subs. If you're new here, please be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and go sign up to the furufinance newsletter for exclusive content in the description below. You get information that I don't talk about on this show. All you have to do, it's completely free, is put your email in the description below. Moving on. We got the broader crypto market. Wow. Blood in the streets again. Wow. Filecoin down 29.5. FTT down 33.1. Hex down 9.9%. Cake down 12%. Luna Classic down 20.5%. It is a bloody day. We have not had like a serious pump in who knows how long. Is this max pain or are we due for capitulation? For capitulation wick to 11K? I don't know. What do you guys think? Trust Wallet Token. Again, Trust Wallet Token. I like focusing on Trust Wallet Token because everyone thought that it would do well during the bear market. And it is not doing well during the bear market. Again, I find it extremely hard to imagine a token that's going to give you life-changing gains when everything else is down 90-95%, especially when we're in this Federal Reserve monetary policy that's really taking the liquidity out of the market and bringing down the broader stocks, bonds, and real estate market. I think there was like a DeFi pump last bear market, which kind of was independent, but that was during a time of loose monetary policy. I think we are going to have to wait for the Fed to go risk off in order to really see life-changing gains. But that's not to say that the crypto market hasn't bottomed or won't bottom before the Fed pivot. It's very possible it will. Crypto market generally front-runs stocks. It's more liquid. I think Crypto Coffee actually talked about this. This was a great point, was that just people in crypto are generally ahead of the curve. They really are onto things that people in the stock market only come to figure out later. And that could potentially be what's pricing the crypto market ahead of the stock market and real estate market, which is a great point. That's actually definitely a very interesting way to look at it. But we don't know. I mean, that's what has been happening. That doesn't guarantee that it is going to continue to happen. Whoops. Caliente. Hey, y'all. Appreciate the content, Furu. Keep it up. Thanks, Caliente. Haven't seen you here before. Welcome. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you are feeling generous, not putting anyone on the spot, but I do accept super chats. I am monetized now, so feel free to leave a super chat. I'll be sure to read it, and I'll be sure to give you an answer, which hopefully you'll like. Hex Daily Stats. We got Hex Daily Stats, which is still broken for some reason. I don't know why. Day one is on page 1 now instead of the last page. But yesterday, we got 38 new holders, change in net positive 38 current holders. Looks like we are at all-time highs of current holders. Stakers, we got 6 new current stakers. We got a change in 6 current stakers. We are at 116,344 current stakers. Holders and stakers in the Hex community continue to climb despite the bear market, despite the poor price performance, and I think that will pay off in dividends in ways. I think it will pay off in a very positive way when things start coming back. But who knows? We got KDP.PLS, Power City, at KDP Crypto. I hope you're following KDP Crypto. Excellent content on Hex Pulsechain and PulseX, broader crypto markets and everything like that. She provides for amazing content for the show, so make sure you give her a follow. Everything is perception. Total token supply held by top wallets. Yeah, this is talking about people getting upset that there's centralized ownership. There's a centralized ownership of tokens. It's not decentralized. People think that means that it's bad for price performance, when actually, provided that those wallets are benevolent, which they should be, and they care about the price, it is good for price performance. It allows more people to get in and the price to pump harder when they get in, because the people at the top generally are wealthy and don't sell. But Uniswap has 96% held by the top wallets. I don't know how many that is. BNB's 99%. Might be referring to top 100. Phantom 83%, Matic 85%. Zen token. If this is true, this is very interesting, because the whole thing about Zen was supposed to be it was an evenly distributed supply, but they're saying 88% of the tokens in the top wallets. That should be bullish for Zen, although it continues to cascade endlessly. So I guess those people that are spamming the network, that have running these bots to continuously create new wallets that mint, are just selling constantly. They don't really care about the price, possibly because they didn't pay for Zen. When you don't pay for something, you tend to not really care about it. But I don't know if that's true, whatever. But that is interesting, because it does go against this ethos of Zen for a fair token distribution. And nevertheless, they still don't perform well, unlike these other tokens that actually had good price performance. Hex is 63%. Richard Hart is transparent. The rest of crypto isn't. This ecosystem is here to take over crypto. I agree with that 100%. This ecosystem is here to take over crypto. I think Hex is more centralized. I think it's 63%, possibly because of the daughter wallets of the OA. But in reality, we don't know. We don't know if those daughter wallets are controlled by one person, or maybe they're actually controlled by multiple people. But the point is that centralized ownership, when it is in the hands of people that actually care about the token, which generally the founders do, and they care about price performance, the token does very, very well. And that's why Hex has done very well. And that's why Uni, BNB, Phantom's done excellent. Matic has done very well. Zen has not, obviously. Same thing applies to stocks. Same thing applies to equities. You look at, Bill Gates. He likes Microsoft. He is a huge shareholder in Microsoft. Microsoft has done extremely, extremely well. Probably is doing better than had all of his shares been in the hands of random people. who may or may not care about Microsoft. Same thing for Tesla, although Elon Musk has been selling a lot lately. Who knows why? But when he wasn't selling, Tesla's price performance has been excellent. Same thing for Berkshire Hathaway. Uh, you know, Warren Buffett controls a considerable amount of equities in Berkshire Hathaway, and Berkshire Hathaway has done excellently. So that is a great tweet by KDP Crypto. Make sure you give it a like. Make sure you give it a retweet. Great points made overall. And moving on, we got Crypto Coffee. I'm sure you guys are following Crypto Coffee at Crypto Coffee 369. He is one of the biggest Hex YouTubers. He has excellent content. He is a Hex OG, and he's saying in a few years, one T-share will feel as hard to obtain as one Bitcoin. Do you believe that? I think the share, how many T-shares are there outstanding right now? It's deflationary. T-shares. There's 10,246,417. And it's down from yesterday. So, yeah, T-shares are deflationary. There is half the circulating supply is Bitcoin, and they pay you. Unlike Bitcoin, the T-shares pay you. They pay you in something valuable, something that's has had excellent price appreciation. So maybe it'll be harder to obtain than one Bitcoin. I think it will. What do you guys think? Will it be more expensive to get one? Will it be harder to obtain one T-share than one Bitcoin? Also, with T-shares, it's more than just giving away your money. You have to give away time in exchange for monetizing the time value of money. And we got another tweet from at KDP Crypto, KDPLS. This is actually a little bit old because we're down more than 65%. But it talks about bullish on the Hex dips, and obviously it shows Hex on a logarithmic scale, which is what you should be looking at Hex on. So 20 days, it was down 80%. First 20 days ran up. Then it was down 72%. Over 37 days, it had that, I think this was the God whale pump. And it was down 68% in 124 days. And then it was down 86% in 19 days, 69% 32 days, 45% 20 days, 49% 9 days, 64% in 5 days, 65% in 56 days. We could actually figure out right now how much it's down and for how long it's been down. But let's take a look here. How do we do that? How do we do that? I gotta learn this stuff. Delete that. Who knows? Prediction. Oh, there we go. There we go. Right here. It's about right here. Whoops. So down 95.96% in 458 days. This is currently the longest dip that we've been experiencing in Hex. Like, how much longer is it going to go down, and how much more could it go down? That's really the question. It could always go down, though. I'm not going to be one to say that, oh, it's gone down so low, it can't go down any lower. There's a massive cascade and the market pulls down. Who's not to say that Hex can't go down with it? It's like it goes down 95%, and then another 50% correction is 97.5% dip. Could that happen? It's possible. I don't know, and I'm not counting on it. I believe Hex is going to continue to go up, so I just continue to DCA. That's really the mindset that you got to have, in my opinion. Not financial advice, obviously. If you're enjoying, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. please follow me on Twitter at furufinance. And please sign up to the Furu Finance email list in the description below for exclusive content not covered on the show. So yeah, you want to do this. This is actually a funny one. So this was sent to me by Ben Dubard. Shout out to Ben Dubard. If you're not following him on Twitter, at Ben Dubard, and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Pulsechain $50, PulseX $110. This is from the Pulse Yodeler. It's like a new account. It's got some pulse porn, I like to call it. He's got 86 followers. Go give him a follow. I'm gonna give that one a like. He's got some other funny tweets. Maybe he's right. Who knows? The year is 2037. Hex is $100,000. Pulsechain is $14, and PulseX is $500. We all made it, lads. And obviously, Richard Hart is the CEO of Binance. What do you guys think? Do you guys think 2037 Hex is going to be $100,000? Who knows? Richard Hart did mention that Hex could reach $1 million. Does that mean that you could sell it all? No. But is that possible? I guess it's possible. And K4K, he retweeted that. If PulseX did the returns Bitcoin did from the launch, so 1 cent, Bitcoin went 1 cent to 69,000, PulseX would hit $690 in 12 years. Will we see how close we get? Remind me of this in 12 years. And then he tags the remind me of this spot. Good for him. Good for K4K. You should be following K4K at K4K Crypto on Twitter. We got 16 watching. If you're enjoying the show, please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please sign yourself up for the Furu Finance newsletter in the description below. Moving on, we got your friend SOMMI. Very smart guy. Very interesting things, many of which I agree with and many of which I don't necessarily agree with, because I don't like really when people just make predictions of how certain things are going to unfold, because things are very complicated and how things play out. I mean, you could see macros, but to give like exactly how things are going to play out, I think is it's a very foolish thing to do, in the sense that, I mean, things change, things are complicated. And if you're wrong, it ends up not looking too good. And eventually you get wrong a lot. But in any case, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing him. He has some great content, like right over here. So you should be following at your friend SOMMI. He's also a Hexkin. So shout out to him. I don't like that he day trades, but that's okay. To my absolute shock, a Bitcoin maxi actually shilled and supported every single major fail of 2022. Shilled Celsius, BlockFi, Luna, FTX. And okay, you can read that for yourself. For SBF, he routinely calls Hex and Ethereum both to be scams. Go give this a retweet. Yeah, Mike Alfred. What I hate about this is he's the guy that gets to go on to the major network television shows talking about how he said Celsius was a scam and take your money off Celsius. And maybe he said it a couple days before, but it turns out that he was saying very, very favorable things about Celsius. In fact, he was part of the problem, not the solution. Richard Hart's been talking about getting your money off Celsius a year before it actually ended up going under. That is helpful. That's the kind of guy you want on TV, not someone like Mike Alfred, who we're going to read his tweets right now, his deleted tweets. Mike, delete your tweets, Alfred. DLT. I met Mashinsky in San Diego years ago when he was running a wireless company. Totally missed out on the crypto lending boom. Kudos to Celsius Network and BlockFi for hitting on the next thing after exchanges. Almost every other business model has been a bust, including this one. But yeah, there you go. Shilling Celsius and BlockFi. Perhaps referrals, perhaps not. Mike Alfred is late to everything. Richard Hart was in Bitcoin mining, getting the 25 Bitcoin blocks in 2011. Mike Alfred comes in 2019, 2020, and opens up a Bitcoin mining company, which I am hearing rumors is going under, and they're having to liquidate their Bitcoin, which is bad for the price. It's bad for Mike Alfred. It's bad for everybody. Bitcoin's bad, in my opinion, not financial advice. Yeah, there you go. Him shilling Celsius Network and BlockFi. Then we got more. We got more from Mike Alfred. Mike Alfred is the gift that keeps on giving. He cannot generate clout. He cannot generate any engagement online. on his own merit, so he just has to go around trolling Hex, but that's fine. We appreciate it. We appreciate accounts with over 100,000 people spreading the word about Hex, whether it be positive or negative. If they're talking about it, people know about it, and eventually, when price performs well, people buy it. I mean, that's inevitably what happens, and that's I think Mike Alfred, whether he likes it or not, is an overall net positive. Same thing with what's his name, Eric Wall. The people still calling for $30,000 and $20,000 Bitcoin don't understand geopolitical game theory, algorithmic stablecoin reserve strategy, or basic math and economics. Best to ignore. What's he talking about? The people. He's talking about Luna? People still calling for 30,000, 20,000 Bitcoin don't understand geopolitical game theory. Saying the algorithmic stablecoin reserve strategy in Luna is what's going to continue to keep on pumping Bitcoin, and it's not going back to 30,000. It would go from maybe, let's say, 67,000 or whatever it was at the time that he tweeted. 40, 50,000 was going over 100,000, maybe 300,000. Because of the geopolitical game theory and algorithmic stablecoin reserve strategy of Luna. Luna went under. Bitcoin is now under 20,000. Richard Hart vindicated. Mike Alfred looking like a chump as always. So shout out to Mike Alfred. We got more. There's more. There's more from Mike Alfred. This guy Nathaniel, whatever his name is. What are the most gonzo events stories in the history of Bitcoin crypto? Markets. And then Mike Alfred responds, markets not understanding Coinbase and FTX potential. Mike Alfred shilling FTX. Here's what you see about Mike Alfred. He's always late and he's always wrong. We don't like following people that are always late and always wrong. Don't get caught up following people that are on TV who are always late and always wrong. Don't listen to Mike Alfred. One more. You can read that for yourself. I'm not going to read that part. But Mike Alfred tweeted, Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, well said, sir. Don't let the haters get you down. Deleted after 2 days. And Crypto Man ran, Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX. I'm still a fan of this guy. And deleted after 2 days. Mike deleting his tweets, Alfred. This was actually courtesy of Eric Wall. So shout out to Eric Wall. He says, big thanks to the smoothest criminal out there, Baby Doll Eric Wall, at ERC Wall for compiling these receipts. So yeah, shout out to Eric Wall for compiling these receipts and calling out Mike Alfred. Mike delete his tweets late on everything, Alfred. And moving on. That's some interesting stuff. Next time Mike Alfred is trolling Hex, just put these screenshots in the comments below. Show his audience, show his 100,000 followers that this man should not be the kind of person you're listening to, and you should come over to the good side, the winning side. Team win. And Randy Hilarski, at Randy Hilarski on Twitter. You go follow him. He's got 33.1 thousand followers. Wow. Shout out to Randy Hilarski. Interesting development, and he retweets the Bank of International Settlements finalizes policy to let banks hold 2% of reserves in Bitcoin. That's interesting. And do I like Bitcoin? Do I think Bitcoin is good? Definitely not, in my opinion. But if more people get into Bitcoin, you really have to get. Hex is not at that point where people can just go straight from fiat, or straight from not being in crypto at all to getting into Hex. They do have to jump. They do have to cross Bitcoin and Ethereum first, ultimately, because there is no real fiat on-ramps. You kind of have to generally go to DEX with your Ethereum and then stake it. So, I mean, it does require people getting into Bitcoin because that's really the gateway drug, so to speak, and then Bitcoin and Ethereum are sort of the gateway drugs, and then crossing over into Hex. So if people in the fiat world see that banks have 2% of their reserves in Bitcoin, and that draws attention to Bitcoin, that gets them to want to buy Bitcoin, that gets them more into the crypto space, paying more attention to the crypto topics, following them more closely on Twitter, et cetera, and things like that. And then inevitably their attention will be drawn to Hex, because who wouldn't want to get into a crypto that pays trustless yield. Hex really solves and provides a solution to all the problems of this past bull market, of middlemen, of centralized exchanges, in my opinion. Not financial advice. Do your own research, and that's really why I'm just so bullish on it. But we got 25 watching. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Please sign up to the Furu Finance newsletter. Free exclusive information that I work very hard to bring to you in the description below. So you click under this video, put your email in, sign up to the free exclusive information in the Furu Finance newsletter. Share the link. Let's get more people watching. Moving on, we got Hextronaut. Are you following Hextronaut on Twitter? He's got 5,500, almost 5.6 thousand followers. Oof. And then he retweets, name this chart. Name this chart. This is, anyone in the comments, what's this chart? I'm waiting. It is Zen. It is Zen. Actually, interestingly enough, I was watching the Jack Levin interview on Corey Costa's show. We like Corey Costa. He had Jack Levin on, and I remember originally Jack Levin was talking about, we're creating a cryptocurrency. We're creating a crypto that could never go down in value. It's only primed to pump. You're not even going to have to worry about the price. I mean, that was really his first words. And now that the price is, plummeted so much because he did not, unlike Richard Hart, he did not understand what it takes to have good price performance in a crypto. Things like inflation to protect the price, centralized ownership, those kinds of things that, people don't really take into consideration. Because he didn't do that and he just rushed that Zen. He changed his narrative. Now he's talking about how they don't, it's just about getting people minting and creating this big ecosystem, which will inevitably create things to make the price pump. What exactly they are, he has no idea. But eventually the price is going to go up. I mean, yeah, okay. I don't think so. Just think about what happens. I mean, right now they're still able to get people in because everything's down. So people think that, when things pump, everything's going to pump. But I think once the market starts rebounding and other cryptos that people aren't minting for free and setting up bots to mint for free start pumping, and these Zen people see that all these people that are spamming the network, whatever, setting up all these wallets to mint are just dumping and holding the price from going up, I think they're probably going to leave. I mean, would you stick around in a community where the price continues to drop while everything else pumps? I don't think so. So I think inevitably that would lead to the end. And I don't think they're going to get to those 8 years where it finally becomes deflationary, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, there you have it. That is the Zen token. We don't like Zen, but shout out to Zen. Another one of the shiny new objects that Johnny Chaos likes to talk about. And anyways, moving on, we got K4K Crypto. K4K, the kid genius. You should be following him at K4K Crypto on Twitter. He's got 24,000 followers. Shout out to K4K Crypto. When Hex hits $1, every day that 6 Hex payout per T-share will mean if you have 10 T-shares, you are making $60 a day passive income, not to mention your principal will have 50x XED. Getting T-shares when they're still cheap is mind-bogglingly solid passive income later. Yes, very true. I agree with that 100%. Obviously, it's not just the price appreciation. It is the T-shares. It is about the T-shares and the fact that it is a tool for monetizing the time value of money, making your time more valuable so you can go out there and do better things and focus on things like making the world a better place because your time is monetized. Your time is trustlessly monetized. I mean, that's really the great thing about Hex. That is the revolutionary thing about Hex. Not to mention the game theory incentivizes to continue delaying gratification and keeping that price up while you do nothing in order to earn. You don't have to stay engaged and waste time in like these NFT spaces or these minting kind of things or whatever it is. But anyways, great point by K4K. Like this tweet, retweet this tweet, follow K4K on Twitter. And we got 28 watching. If you're enjoying the show, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you tuning in. And wise words, thank you, Sweaty. And feel free to leave a super chat if you're feeling up to it. And becoming a member supports me less than the price of a cup of coffee, once a month. You get special badges, you get priority in the comments. Click the join button under this video. Please click it. If not, just sign up to the free email list. But Randall Schreier says, what do you think about Pulse Doge pumping so hard? I mean, it's pumping. Do I think Pulse Doge is going to? I think a lot of people also, are frustrated by the 95% correction, and they're getting suckered into chasing, so to speak, shining new objects. So they think that, oh yeah, Pulse Doge is going to get them to the promised land. I don't think Pulse Doge is going to get you to the promised land, in my opinion, not financial advice. I think it's good if you free claimed it, certainly. But does the Pulse Doge pay you trustless yield? Does the Pulse Doge have a delay gratification feature? Does the Pulse Doge have a T-share rate that favors people who get in earlier and stake longer? No, that doesn't have any of that. And it's also kind of just sort of not only piggybacking on Richard Hart's community and things like that, it's piggybacking on Doge. I mean, there already is a Doge. And you look at Bitcoin Cash. I mean, Bitcoin, Roger Ver, who arguably, had the rights to Bitcoin. I mean, he was one of the people really in there early on who arguably could carry the Bitcoin name, and is arguably responsible for the success of Bitcoin, was not able to create his own Bitcoin community. So I don't see how the Pulse Doge people will either create a Pulse community or a Doge community. I just think it's a shiny new object, in my opinion. Nothing personal to them. I think if you got it for free, congrats to you. I mean, maybe it'll go up. It's also a meme coin that's extremely, extremely rare. It's like $9. The whole thing about memes is they're supposed to be, you could get tons of them for a very small amount of money. But I don't know. I mean, it's not up to me. It's up to you. Go do your own research. This is not financial advice. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Please become a member. And moving on. Johnny Chaos at CCFX Studios. You know the real difference in Hex now versus Hex sub penny? We didn't know it could hit a penny, or 5 cents, or 10 cents, or 20 cents, or 30 cents, or 50 cents, till it did. Should be less scary for you because now you know for a fact it can. Known achievable ranges. That's very true. That's why the people that got in early were rewarded so heavily, because it was so uncertain as to whether Hex could even hit a penny. And it smashed that hard, and it 50x that. So there's no reason why it can't happen again. People buy and people don't sell, which is in the code, which it's essentially programmed to do, then the Hex price will continue to go up. We were told daily hitting a penny was impossible because the market cap would be too high. We had to discover market cap isn't an actual limiting factor at all. Now we teach you its vanity status. If you dismiss market cap, why can't Hex hit higher price points? There is no reason. And when I say told, I actually meant chastised, ridiculed. When he said meaning they were told it can't hit more than a penny, I mean chastised, ridiculed, mocked, taunted, trashed, bashed, put on blast, told we had no idea what we were talking about. We were ignorant, stupid, ignorant noobs fooled by that charismatic leader every day for a solid year. And then he shows like the Family Guy gif, how Hex year one actually felt. Yeah, I mean, and that's what happens when you get into something early that, you take the time to understand and study and realize its potential before everyone else. They were ridiculed. They were made fun of, people like Johnny Chaos. But Johnny Chaos was smarter than everyone else. Johnny Chaos knew something that everyone else didn't know. And he's one of those people that was rewarded heavily. And now he's He's taking the time to educate people like you and me. So go follow Johnny Chaos. Go like and retweet all his tweets. It's very true. I mean, everybody said Hex can't go too high because of its market cap. Richard Hart understood it was a vanity metric. And I think Bitcoin really displayed that. But everyone that got into Bitcoin came in after it actually happened. So, I mean, people like Chase Meyer and Eric Voorhees, they really understood that Bitcoin could continue going higher, and it was in fact a vanity metric. And no one else believed that. People thought it couldn't go above $1 and $10 and $100, but it did because market cap doesn't mean anything. Now Bitcoin has a higher market cap than, at its peak, it had a higher market cap than pretty much every single stock in the S&P 500, which would be unimaginable, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. But it happened. It happened because nothing's stopping it from continuing to go up in market cap. In fact, the more a crypto appreciates, the less money it takes to move its market cap up. So I think it could really 10x its even all-time high market cap. It's nothing's stopping it. Nothing's stopping it. If people buy and people don't sell, then the market cap and the price will continue to go up. And I think Hex is not the exception, especially considering the OAs likely not going to sell, although we have no expectations from the work of others. A Wild SJ is here, appears. What is going on, a Wild SJ? Thank you so much for tuning in. And moving on. Why $100 Hex seems absolutely crazy? Because having just 10 T shares is $650 per day. Imagine owning 100 or thousands of T shares. It just doesn't seem reasonable. 50 Bitcoin block used to be $25. You could get full blocks, no pool, unit bias at small price points is very real. Go like and retweet this. People that would pay the 100 do not have the same perspective as you. So people think that, oh yeah, Hex can't reach $100 because no one would want to pay for it. But you have to understand the people that would be paying $100, like Johnny brilliantly points out, they do not have the same perspective as you. Not the same entry point, didn't live through the same dips or have the same experience. They don't have your bias. They only have their perspective in the current market conditions at that time. Like that. People want to buy expensive things, not cheap things, and Hex is too cheap for people to even think about at the moment. More will buy for dollars than pennies because it will be perceived as more valuable. No one cared when Bitcoin was pennies, did they? It's the same coin today. Prices are low. You just accept they are where they belong. You accept it. You get comfortable. You have all the time in the world. You will do it later. Then one day you go back and find they didn't stay where you thought they would, not even close. Yeah, that's a great point. I really like what he's saying. When probably you originally think about yourself, unless you're a Bitcoin OG, which if you're watching this, you're probably not. But think about the first time you came in and bought Bitcoin. Did you say, oh yeah, it's too expensive when it was $10,000, $20,000? Did you say it was too expensive? No, you didn't. You probably even thought it was cheap. Like if you're buying it now, you might even think it's cheap because you're not getting in. You weren't there when it was $1. You weren't there when it was 50 cents. But if you got in when it was 50 cents, you might be a little bit more reluctant to stack sats sort of thing. And that's the thing. So like, yeah, you're imagining Hex can't go to $100. I'd never want to pay for it for $100. But the people that get in later, they didn't see it when it was at these prices. So they might be willing to buy it for $100. That's the point. It's like, stop thinking about it from your perspective. Think about it from people that get in later. Think about it from their perspective. People that got in early to Hex, they didn't want to buy it. They wanted to sell it 50 cents. They didn't want to buy it 50 cents. But the people that got in later and saw it going up and saw the hype around it, they wanted to buy it 50 cents, myself included. So the idea of like something going up so much that it can't possibly go up higher is ridiculous, in my opinion, not financial advice. And it's been proven by Bitcoin and Ethereum. They've had bigger market caps than the overwhelming majority of companies in the S&P 500. I mean, that's just the way it was. I mean, it's a proven thing. Like has product market fit. Bitcoin has product market fit. Ethereum has product market fit. Hex has product market fit. Pulsechain has product market fit. PulseX has product market fit. So I think the sky's the limit, in my opinion, not financial advice. We got Spaceballs1. Spaceballs1, welcome here. We never seen you before. Finally, I'm catching one of his streams. You're doing a great job, mate. Thank you, Spaceballs1. Really appreciate you tuning in and catching the stream. We got 28 watching, and I'm Johnny Chaos is the man. Johnny Chaos is the man. If you are enjoying the show, please take a second, hit the subscribe button and the bell, and sign up to the Furu Finance newsletter in the description below. I'm only getting like maybe one sign up per day. I should be getting more than that. I bring you the great content on a daily basis. Time to pay it forward for free by just giving me your email, signing up to the newsletter so you could get more free content. How about that? What a deal. What a deal. But moving on. Yeah, go in the description of this video, click sign up to the Furu Finance newsletter, put your email in. It's private. It's end-to-end encrypted. You can always unsubscribe. Something I didn't realize in the beginning, but you can always unsubscribe. It gives you inside information that I do not talk about during this show. And moving on, please, in the description, sign up to the Furu Finance email newsletter. Moving on, we got another tweet from your friend SOMMI. Awesome stuff. Great point over here. If Pulsechain was launched earlier, we would be seeing PLS down 75% from day one sacrifice price. Since it has not launched yet, I welcome it, and you should too. It has no scars of history to battle when 2023 and 2024 bull times arrive. Hex has taken the beating. It's a great, great point, very important point, a point that a lot of people are not talking about. The fact that it's like people think, oh yeah, Pulsechain's going to save everything. I mean, I think it can lead to a hype pump, but in general, a Pulsechain launch, the idea of Pulsechain being there is not going to save you from broader market sentiment and conditions. And when Bitcoin crashes, 50, 60%, it's going to bring Pulsechain down. And it brought Hex down. People thought it wouldn't bring Hex down. It brought Hex down. Pulsechain would not be the exception. I myself, frankly, wouldn't mind a 75% dip because I didn't get in on the sacrifice. So that would present me and all you guys a great opportunity, even if you got in on the sacrifice. But if you think that, you would have had life-changing wealth between, let's say, last May or a year ago when people thought that Pulsechain would originally launch, that's not true. That is just simply not true. You would be down. I mean, that's just the way it works. Markets, tokens are, cryptocurrency is bonded with each other in liquidity, and, Bitcoin is tied to fiat, which is tied to the broader markets and which is tied to Federal Reserve monetary policy. That was, if there was one thing to learn from this past bull market, it's that Bitcoin is not a hedge against inflation. It's not a safe haven asset. It's simply not true. It's not true. It's a speculative asset. It's leveraged to the broader markets. When there's easy money, Bitcoin goes up. That's what's actually interesting. So Max Kaiser, I remember he was complaining about the low interest rates. He's saying, raise the rates. Does he still want the rates raised? I mean, the low interest rates, really, if we're being honest, is what allowed for Bitcoin to have the price performance that it has had. We would not be having that with high interest rates. If we had high interest rates, people would be able, if it was just a Federal Reserve policy, not even like a gold standard sort of thing, but just interest rates were 8-9%, it would be deflationary. I'm saying it would be like Hex. Like Hex is deflationary. I'm saying like it rewards holders because people are incentivized to not sell. So when you have interest rates that are 8-10%, people are incentivized heavily not to sell their US dollars. So it would be deflationary. People would second guess, like, oh, should I go on this vacation? Oh, should I put my money in the stock market? No, I could just lock it up in bonds and safely earn a consistent 8-10% a year. Let me not spend as much. And then the value goes up despite circulating supply. People have to get past circulating supply. It's not that simple. But yeah, so it's this tight monetary policy that's done so poorly for Bitcoin's price performance, and would do the same for Pulsechain's price performance. And now that we're closer to the bottom, I feel a lot safer in Pulsechain having less dips, I guess. I mean, having less time to the downside and more time to the upside, so to speak. I mean, it is interesting. So if he would have launched Pulsechain a year ago, right? If he would have launched Pulsechain like when Bitcoin was at 50, 60,000, and Pulsechain would have went down 90%, 80%, whatever it is, there would be more bragging rights because that means it could run up that much more, because that means there's a massive sell-off. There are less wallets holding it. There are less people in on it at the bottom. So that allows for more potential buyers and more potential buy pressure. So Richard Hart could have had more bragging rights, meaning he could have said, we did a 10, 14,000x bottom to top, coming out near the bottom of the market, without shaking out people that got in on the sacrifice. That could lead to less all-time low to all-time high price performance. So might not even be better in terms of bragging rights, which is what Richard Hart's into. But it is good if you got in on the sacrifice. He has helped you. So if you got in on the sacrifice, you should not be complaining about Pulsechain not launching. It's ultimately benefited you very much. Whether Richard Hart is doing this intentionally, I don't know. I don't think he is. But it has ultimately benefited you tremendously. Randall Schreier says, Bitcoin is a hedge because it absorbs inflation. You just have to sell at the top. Does it absorb? I mean, I guess if the Fed wouldn't be taming inflation by raising rates, it would absorb it. But since people don't want to fight the Fed, it doesn't absorb it, meaning when we had the highest inflation, Bitcoin was at its worst, right? And a hedge against inflation, I guess, a store of value, so to speak. You shouldn't have to be constantly following the markets and timing when you're going to sell it. It should be something that you could just put away and have this assurance that your buying power is preserved. That's not the case if you have to sell it at the top, in my opinion. But thanks for the comment, Randall Schreiner. We appreciate it. We appreciate you tuning in. And obviously, none of this is financial advice. You have to do your own research. And we got Havid Hex. Pulsechain to launch at market bottom in 2023. Should we play this? Why not? Got a whole... it's annoying. Sorry, guys. Stop screen share. Present. Now we could share audio.
Now look, crypto will bottom first, in my opinion. But until he pivots, stops raising the rates, and then we get the actual market crash. So usually people think the pivot saves you. Usually, historically, the pivot is then followed by the real crash.
Yeah, it kills you.
And then you get your bottom 6 months, 8 months later, and then you go up. So now look, this is uncharted territory, right? So look, if there wasn't so many coins ready to get sold, I would feel better about calling a crypto bottom. But we haven't hit my price targets. We have barely run, we just basically finished up a year of bear from the double top.
All right.
And the macro environment is that they're going to keep raising rates, which is going to keep hurting the prices of everything. And until the pivot and the crash and hitting the price targets, I'm just not comfortable calling a bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
And price matters a lot more than timing. So
you feel like it's more somewhere around 11,000, 2023 would be your prediction for where Bitcoin is.
I mean,
it's going to hit the 11,000 mark.
Yeah. Yep.
That's your number. Okay.
I mean, technically an 85% drop from 69K is 10,350.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So he's saying that the crypto market's going to bottom first. Fed pivot in 2023, leading to capitulation. But I guess perhaps the capitulation will already happen or it will already have happened earlier with crypto. And Bitcoin is going to 11K. We haven't bottomed yet. And Havid Hex is saying that Richard Hart is really timing the market. I don't think he is. I don't know though. I mean, maybe he is, maybe he's not. I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me in my opinion. But Pulsechain. So are we gonna get a launch at market bottom 2023? You know, I guess that would be late 2023. Broader market bottom or crypto bottom? Maybe early 2023 would be the crypto market bottom. I don't know. I mean, it's possible crypto already bottomed, like I've been saying all along. And I know Richard's saying 11K, and he's been on the ball. But if you do think, an interesting thought is that the people that really are selling crypto based on market sentiment, you know, that don't really the hardcore people, I think they're already gone. And the people that are really holding now they're not interested in really selling bottoms at this point. I think if they would be interested in selling, and they'd be selling because of panic, like crypto was never going to come back again, you know, they'd have done it already. I mean, could it get much worse than FTX? I mean, bad things could happen that lead to further cascades. But I mean, if Binance goes down, is it that much more shocking and hurtful to the market than FTX? I don't know. FTX is one of the biggest exchanges. Yeah, no, that's a interesting thought over there with Havid Hex. You should be following her. She's awesome. Spaceballs 1. It's easy to be patient in Hex. 1, you get loads of airdrops and get paid yield. Has been an awesome bear market. Richard Hart knows what he's doing and has the receipts to prove it. I agree with everything you just said. Not even much to add on there. It's just great points, Spaceballs 1. It's true. You're getting paid every day. It's been an awesome bear market. We've been having fun here. I'm saying, like, despite getting like hit over the head, it's been awesome. I mean, it's just been, has it not been exciting watching the FTX cascade? I mean, if you really think about it, it's sad, but it's definitely hasn't been boring, to say the least. And it's been nice seeing people, you know, seeing Richard Hart get vindicated by pretty much everything he said. So yeah, shout out to you, Spaceballs 1. Great points. And moving on. Now I gotta reshare this. We got 28 watching though. If you're enjoying the video, please subscribe to the channel. Please go to the description. Sign up to the furufinance email letter for exclusive content, okay? It's free. It's exclusive content. It supports you, which supports me. And if I'm supported, I support you. It's a positive feedback loop. It's like Hex. All right. Moving on. We have Binance. Binance to acquire bankrupt crypto exchange Voyager's assets for $1 billion week after FTX deal failed. So people were talking about Binance not having the cash to stay solvent and to meet depositors' withdrawals. Seems like they have $1 billion that they're ready to deploy to buy Voyager. I mean, maybe they don't have it. I know FTX didn't have it, and they said they had it, so who knows? But some interesting stuff. So Voyager Digital announced that Binance US had a second bidding process after FTX bankruptcy filing, paving the way for potential resolution of the platform's 1.7 million users. Users might be made whole again. The company had billions of dollars worth of crypto at the end of 2021, but a broader market downturn and a series of bad bets, including to 3 Arrows Capital and Alameda Research, chipped away at the firm's available capital. So it says here, Binance will acquire the crypto asset and customer deposits of Voyager Digital in a $1.2 billion deal weeks after a planned FTX Voyager acquisition failed as a result of FTX's collapse and Sam Bankman-Fried's arrest. Voyager filed for bankruptcy protection in July 2022 after crypto hedge fund 3 Arrows Capital defaulted on a significant loan position extended by Voyager. At the time of the filing, the crypto exchange had approximately $1.3 billion in assets, but was owed over $650 million by 3 Arrows Capital, compared to $5.8 billion worth of assets at the end of 2021. Binance US is nominally independent of the international Binance, but Reuters has previously reported that Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao established Binance.us in 2017 in part to serve as a regulatory inquiry clearinghouse to catch and contain concerns for federal regulators. Okay, we don't have to read this whole thing. But it says here more than 1.7 million Voyager users were waiting to discover what would happen to their crypto when FTX deal was announced. Users were to receive an account credit alongside custody of certain cryptocurrencies that FTX supported. Weeks later, after the exposure of a multi-billion-dollar balance sheet hole forced FTX into bankruptcy, Voyager, like many other FTX acquisition targets, was forced into a lurch. It's not yet clear how Voyager's pending acquisition may impact Binance's stake in the FTX Alameda bankruptcy. Representatives for Voyager did not immediately respond to content. So there you have it. I mean, it looks like Binance is going to buy out Voyager. Is that good? No, it's not good. Voyager is not good for crypto. Giving up your keys in order to earn yield is not good for crypto. And who's not to say this isn't going to happen again? It keeps happening. This isn't the first time that these lending platforms have gone under. It pretty much happens every other cycle. They lend it to third parties that take risk. You know, they bet one way or the other with your money as leverage. And eventually it doesn't work out. Ladies, liquor, and leverage. Right? That's what Richard Hart talks about. And if Voyager gets to come back, I mean, what's going to stop this from happening again? I think these lending platforms just have to not exist, and people have to use trustless yield earning platforms where you don't have to give up your keys, to middlemen, you know, where you can earn yield trustlessly with no third party like Hex. So that's interesting. Does it even provide a floor? I mean, I'm assuming the Voyager bankruptcy is already priced into the market, so I don't know if it's really even doing the market any good, but who knows. Moving on to our featured story, we have the Digital Currency Group, parent company of Grayscale and Genesis Lending. So Rand Nooner, you should be following him, 682,000 followers. At Crypto Man Rand, he has Richard Hart on his show regularly on Crypto Banter. Digital Currency Group has been dead silent since Genesis Lending collapsed, despite tons of speculation that they may have to unbundle. Today, they broke their silence with a strong GBTC campaign, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust campaign. It feels like they are positioning for a sale. Feels strange. Thoughts? So they've been pretty quiet about their insolvency. But Barry Silbert just tweeted today at 8:54 a.m. If Grayscale ETF dreams fail, firm may try a tender offer, the CEO says. So this is our feature article. Basically, Grayscale is trying to become a publicly traded ETF to close the gap between the GBTC and BTC. GBTC is, despite being backed by Bitcoin, is trading at a 50% premium. 2-for-1 sale. Richard Hart talks about this a lot. Richard Hart, again, was ahead of the curve. He was talking about how the Grayscale discount has to go away for Bitcoin to go up, and now everyone's talking about it. Again, ahead of the curve. And again, Mike Alfred behind the curve. So here goes. If Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF dreams fail, firm may try a tender offer, CEO says. So Michael Sonnenschein attempts to assuage fears of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust investors after collapse of FTX. Wall Street Journal, you could check out the article, but Grayscale Investments said the firm would explore new options to return a portion of Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust capital to shareholders if it fails to transform the world's largest Bitcoin fund into an exchange-traded fund. These options could include a tender offer for up to 20% of the outstanding shares of 10.7 billion trust. Grayscale Chief Executive Michael Sonnenschein said in a letter to investors viewed by the Wall Street Journal. Tender offer would make a direct appeal to shareholders to sell or tender their shares at a specific price during a certain time. Grayscale, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, known by its ticker symbol GBTC, trades like a closed-end fund, which can often trade at a premium or discount to the value of its holdings. Amid this year's slump in digital assets, the discount rate has widened substantially. Grayscale Bitcoin was trading at a 49% discount relative to the price of the Bitcoins it held on Friday, according to Y Charts. Currently, GBTC can be created, but not redeemed, meaning that investors can only sell their holdings in the open market at a discount. The trust charges a 2% annual fee. Grayscale said that converting GBTC into an ETF would help bring its share price to trade in line with its underlying value. Market participants would be able to create and redeem shares of GBTC to ensure they reflect the underlying value of Bitcoin it holds. So if there's an ETF, right now Grayscale is not an ETF, and you could sell your shares on the market, but it can be at a premium or discount, despite being backed by actual Bitcoin. But I guess an ETF would allow for arbitrage. It would allow you to buy, if you can buy this 50% off and redeem it for actual Bitcoin or the US dollar value of Bitcoin, then it would bring GBTC and BTC to parity, which could, and being at parity would essentially allow the price to continue to climb, because people would buy whatever I'm saying, people would not, I guess people would buy, right now people don't want to buy Bitcoin because they could buy it for 50% off, and they're assuming that if it doesn't go back to parity, they'll be able to redeem it, I guess. I mean, they're assuming that it's going to be turned into an ETF and it'll hit parity. So it's sort of an arbitrage play right now. So money that otherwise would have been going into Bitcoin and pumping Bitcoin is going into Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, essentially. So Mr. Sonnenschein's letter attempted to assuage the fears of GBTC investors following the collapse of crypto exchange FTX last month, which has spread contagion across the industry. Grayscale's parent company, Digital Currency Group, and affiliate firm, crypto lender Genesis Global Capital, are among those ensnared in the FTX meltdown. Genesis paused redemptions and loan originators after it couldn't meet clients' withdrawals requests, and Digital Currency Group said it owes Genesis $1.7 billion through 2 loans. Securities and Exchange Commission has so far rejected Grayscale and others' spot Bitcoin ETF applications on the grounds that such products are vulnerable to fraud and market manipulation. The regulator has only allowed ETFs tracking Bitcoin futures to come to the market. So Grayscale sued the SEC. Blah, blah, blah. So if Grayscale is unable to return capital to GBTC shareholders via a tender offer or ETF, the company currently plans to continue operating GBTC without a continuing redemption program until it succeeds in converting it into a spot Bitcoin ETF, Mr. Sonnenschein said it in the letter. We are committed to converting GBTC into an ETF. It is what we are putting the full resources of the firm behind, Mr. Sonnenschein said in the interview. So I guess to reassure people that they could continue buying Grayscale Bitcoin, he's saying that there's the possibility that they could have that they could redeem their shares for potentially the actual US dollar, that in the future they will be able to, if they don't convert into an ETF, they'll get a good offer on, I don't know if it's going to be 1-to-1, but they'll get a good offer on their Grayscale Bitcoin shares. I guess they'll get it for a premium on what they bought it for, or what it was. I don't know. But I guess maybe further regulation would allow Grayscale to get that approval from the SEC to become an ETF. So its price, the Grayscale Bitcoin, can trade at closer range, if not parity, to Bitcoin, which would allow for more buying of Bitcoin. I mean, it would allow for more buying of real Bitcoin, which would drive up the price. So that's why Richard Hart is saying that Bitcoin will not make all-time highs until the discount is over. But I don't know. I mean, as soon as they get that approval from the SEC, I think it's going to be like that. I think that's when the discount really closes, and that could happen very quickly. and faster than most people think. So I'm not going to take it as like Bitcoin is never coming back. I think it's going to come back. I think that this issue will be resolved sooner than later. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think it'll be resolved sooner or later? We got 19 watching. If you're enjoying, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, press the bell, and sign up to the Furu Finance newsletter, and consider sending a super chat. That was our featured story. So if you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. But yeah. Red squirrel. Oi, oi. Oi, oi, red squirrel. Anyways, I guess that's it for today. For the news. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the Furu Finance newsletter in the description below. And we will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time talking Hex Pulsechain, PulseX, broader crypto news. Until next time, have a great rest of your day.